Coming up on Volusia Magazine, we revisit the Arcade Museum in Daytona Beach, take in the artwork at the historic courthouse, and get our hands dirty in a local community garden. Those stories and more next. Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. Here in Volusia County, our drinking water comes from wells underground. Dr. Holly Smith shows us how the Florida Department of Health works to ensure the water is safe to drink, no matter the source.
People should be more involved in knowing where the water comes from.
If you live in Volusia County, the answer to that question is somewhat simple. Your drinking water comes from the ground, the Floridan aquifer to be exact. That much we all have in common. But exactly where in the aquifer the water comes from and how pure that water is coming straight from the ground, well, that depends on your water provider.
There's different layers. We have wells that are 100 feet down. We have wells that are 300 feet down. So those layers are actually very different when it comes to the quantity of minerals or sometimes chemicals that come up through the ground, through those wells.
The Department of Health in Volusia County is responsible for ensuring all public water systems are serving up clean, safe water. That includes large city-owned plants like this one, along with smaller water systems such as those in private communities, mobile home parks, RV parks, even some churches and a few gas stations. If the water is pulled from the ground and served to people, the Department of Health is monitoring. And with 143 public water systems in Volusia County, there's a lot of monitoring going on.
Of those, 49 are community water systems. Community water systems are required to sample for bacteria every month. So every month we get those results and we have to analyze them and make sure we input it in our database. So it is quite time consuming. For example, bacteria has to be sampled every month on the large community water systems. And things like chemicals, lead and copper, have to be sampled sometimes every year, sometimes every 3 years, depending on the frequency or the size of the system.
It's a detailed process that's required by the Safe Water Drinking Act. The purpose of the act is to ensure it's safe to drink the water that comes from the wells or other sources. So what is it that's in the water that comes straight from the ground every day?
We don't know, and that's why we do what we do, because we have to make sure what's coming out of the ground, to make sure that there could be chemicals, there could be hazardous materials. There is minerals that are found, on the ground, and we have to monitor for those and make sure what needs to be treated in the water to get to the point of safe drinking water.
No matter where you live in Florida, your drinking water provider is required to give you a consumer confidence report every year. It tells you where your water is coming from and the results from samples taken throughout the year.
If you'd like more information on this program or other programs and services offered by the Florida Department of Health right here in Volusia County, log on to our website. The address is volusiahealth.com. That's volusiahealth.com. For the Florida Department of Health right here in Volusia County, I'm Dr. Holly Smith.
Whoa! Why did you throw the trash out the window?
Once.
Don't you know how long it takes litter to decompose? A cigarette butt takes 1 to 5 years. A plastic bag, 10 to 20 years. A glass bottle, 1,000,000 years.
You know, you're right. We should start caring more about the environment. Let's stop litter now.
Keep Volusia County beautiful.
Put litter in its place. Drive it home.
We head out to the garden with Joe Sewards, urban horticulture specialist with the Volusia County Extension. Joe gets his hands dirty and digs deep into what it takes to grow your own community garden.
I'm Joe Sewards, and welcome to Solutions for Your Life. Today we're going to talk about all things community gardens. You know, there's a real movement on in this country to create community gardens, and I get calls at the Extension office every day, almost, from people who are interested in starting community gardens. And it's important to know that in starting a community garden, subsequently you have to maintain it, you have to advertise it. There's a lot of work, ongoing type of work, that goes into creating and maintaining a community garden. Keep in mind, it's not a case where if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come, but you're going to have somebody who's going to be able to take money, who's going to be able to manage it, assign beds. Just take those home and use them for greens.
This part for greens?
Yeah. So here we are at the Spring Hill Community Garden, and they just started this garden last summer. It's a cooperative effort between the City of DeLand, Stetson University, and the University of Florida and the Greater Union Life Center. That's an example of the type of partnership it takes to create and maintain a community garden. You need a dedicated space. You need a dedicated group of people who want to take part in it, grow their vegetables, and become invested in the garden, not only just to start it, but to keep coming out, maintain it, take care of it, learn how to grow vegetables. That's another beautiful thing about a community garden. It not only helps people form, as the name would imply, a community. People from everywhere can come around here, learn how to grow vegetables, learn from each other. They can share their vegetables. The University of Florida Cooperative Extension here in Volusia County will help provide ongoing education to the folks who are invested in the garden here, and hopefully this garden will continue to grow, not only in the individual beds, but we will get more and more interest, so we'll have more and more beds and have a real vibrant community garden here in the Spring Hill community in DeLand. The outcome of most any community garden is obviously that people want to grow at least some of their own fresh fruits and vegetables, and this is a way to do that. Another outcome is just to get outside and be active outside, get exercise, and then also to form a real community. Meet people you wouldn't have otherwise met had you not been involved in the community garden. Another outcome is to improve health. Eating your own preservative-free fruits and vegetables. In this garden alone, we have an assortment of fresh fruits and vegetables. We have strawberries, folks are growing carrots, cabbage, beets, kohlrabi, mustard greens, peas, beans, a variety of herbs. There are any number of things that can be grown successfully in Florida really most of the year. About the only time we don't grow a lot of fruits and vegetables is in the summer, but the winter and the early spring are ideal times to grow a number of things that you can grow and eat at home. For more information on creating and maintaining a community garden in your neighborhood, you can give us a call at the University of Florida Extension in Volusia County. Our phone number is area code 386-822-5778. And you can ask for me, Joe Sewards. My email address is my last name, Sewards, S-E-W-A-R-D-S, @ufl.edu. And I can give you lots of information from the University of Florida and from the American Community Garden Association on how you can start and maintain a successful community garden. With Solutions for Your Life, I'm Joe Sewards.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I always wanted to be.
Did you know that the historic courthouse in downtown DeLand is also a time machine? Gary Daniels takes you inside and back in time to discover some of the most important events in Florida's history.
So we're going to start at the beginning now with Florida history. So as you look at this painting, what do you think you're seeing? Today we were having a tour of the legendary Florida collection. The paintings are a collection that were done by Jackson Walker. He did them over a period of time. The museum actually acquired them in 2006. So we have this collection of paintings that really represent a very accurate portrayal of some of the most important events of Florida history. It's Sir Francis Drake with his band of kind of assorted people that he got along the way, coming in to destroy the city of St. Augustine. We think of Sir Francis Drake as this great historical good guy. He was really just a pirate, really and truly. The English government said, you go in, you do what you want to do, you can take all the plunder, and then we get the land. Because this English wanted the Spanish colonies, just like they were still having the fights in Europe. That spillover between the English and the Spanish for control came to the New World. So they were still fighting over it even here. So we're going to come around here and look at this painting. This is one of my favorite paintings in the exhibition. This is William Bartram. I think my favorite painting is the William Bartram, the Flower Hunter. Just because being a native Floridian, I recognize so much of the flora and fauna, and I think it's a really beautiful story. And Bartram had such an impact on the history of Florida and still does today. So many of you may have read Bartram's books or know about Bartram and the Bartram Trail. William Bartram was actually the son of the royal botanist to the King of England. And he was commissioned by the king to come to Florida. This is on the St. Johns River. He was commissioned by the king to come to Florida and make drawings of the plants and the animals and the trees in Florida, and to actually basically create an encyclopedia of what was here, because it was so different than anything they had. They didn't know what the things were. This one is one of my favorite pieces here. Bartram and this one are two of my favorite pieces. This is the captive Osceola. What's really strange about this painting, and there is something very strange about it. Now, if you think you were going to be captured, would you be dressed in your finest wear? No. What happened with this story was the government knew that in order to really end the Seminole Wars and the battles with the Indians, they had to get control of Osceola, because he was a charismatic leader. The people would follow him wherever, and they couldn't get him. So the government sent out a group to talk to him, and they said, look, under a truce, under a white flag, we're going to meet 10 miles outside of St. Augustine at Moultrie. You're going to come and we're going to talk about creating some kind of settlement. Well, Osceola and his 80 people went. They were immediately captured and marched back into the city of St. Augustine. The government never had any intention of signing a truce. It's great to let people know about DeLand and the history of DeLand, the rich history of DeLand, but also about the history of Florida. And then the fact that the Museum of Art felt it was really important to have this collection to make it available for the public.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Are you a pinball wizard? Still suffering from Pac-Man fever? The Daytona Arcade Museum in downtown Daytona Beach has just what you need. This week on Volusia Here and Now, we'll join Shelley Safranek as she checks out this throwback to a time when we battled space invaders and the silver ball ruled the gaming industry.
From asteroids and Centipede to Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, if you miss the classic arcade games, you're gonna want to visit the Daytona Arcade Museum in Daytona Beach. This is one retro place you'll want to bring your friends and family to for gaming fun. In fact, the Daytona Arcade Museum boasts Central Florida's largest collection of playable classic arcade games. These classic machines are the personal collection of manager Brian French, who started collecting arcade games at 14.
We've got about 127 or so pieces here at the moment. I believe about 105 are currently playable. We wanted to teach the history behind the machines. So you'll learn, you'll see the first machine ever made, the first handheld games ever made are here, and the history behind them. And it's all from the 70s, from the first game ever made, and we bring it up to 1989 is where we're currently cut off, but we're thinking about bringing in some machines from the 90s.
Hi, welcome to Daytona Arcade Museum.
Now, when you walk into the arcade, you'll feel like you've been transported back in time as hits from the 70s and 80s play and music videos are streamed on a large screen. You'll see display cases with game systems, including the largest collection of Atari artifacts, and then rows and rows of classic arcade games. Since opening, Brian says the response has been great from the public, although some of the younger visitors aren't quite sure of themselves when playing on the older game systems.
Some kids really get it and they love it. Some don't get it at all. It's funny to watch people try to even start the games. They think the games are broken. They don't know how to start the games even.
To help the younger generation feel comfortable as they become familiar with the older game systems, Brian created a kids area in the lobby.
This is the prize redemption area. These are all token operated machines. Not really part of the museum. Our lobby arcade basically, where you can win prizes. And they're classic machines again, from the 80s and early 90s.
Once the kids get comfortable, they quickly visit other areas of the arcade and it's game on. So one of the cool things is that no more trying to find quarters or trying to find an ATM for cash. You just pay your admission and it's unlimited gaming.
Most people come and they want to spend all day. You can, for $19.95, you can spend all day here. Google says that the average time is 3 hours. So for the price, you get pretty good bang for your buck, I think.
And if you work up an appetite while here, they've got you covered with their Retro Bites Cafe and Bar, which serves food, beer, and drinks.
We have New York pizza. I'm originally from upstate New York, so we do New York pizza here. It's all made in-house, fresh dough, made every day. We wanted to keep it simple, like it was back in the day. You'd pretty much get a pizza or a calzone, stromboli, something like that.
Visitors also will notice the upstairs VIP area, which can be the perfect location for a party. Brian said birthday party and group packaging is available. The museum offers continuous specials and even twilight gaming, which begins after 6 p.m.
A single-day admission is $19.95 for adults, $14.95 for children 13 and under, and kids 4 and under are free. Discounts are also offered for active and non-active military, law enforcement, firefighters, and seniors. The museum is open Wednesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 9 p.m. You can visit DaytonaArcadeMuseum.com for more details and also follow them on Facebook. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Shelley Safranek.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Hi, I'm Josh Wagner.
And I'm Billy Wheeler. During the planning stages of the Tomstead Veteran Memorial Bridge, people voiced their desire to have a Veterans Memorial Plaza on the northwest side of the bridge.
The Veterans Memorial Plaza will create a special place in our community for people to reflect and connect with our fallen heroes.
The proposed concept for the new Veterans Memorial Plaza is estimated to be a $1.2 million endeavor.
Your donation will help us create a special place in our community in which we can honor Volusia County veterans from all military branches and military conflicts. To help fund our Veterans Memorial Plaza, visit veteransmemorialbridge.com or call Volusia County Accounting at 386-736-5933.
We appreciate your support to create this lasting memorial for those who have served and continue to serve our country.
Nearly 3/4 of the Earth is covered by water. However, not all of the water is suitable for consumption. Let's go to Kate Sark, who's going to teach us how the Southwest Regional Water Reclamation Facility is achieving improved water quality and helping with water conservation.
These tanks hold 4.5 million gallons of reclaimed water. How do you turn wastewater into reclaimed water? Let's find out.
Initially, the water comes into the headworks right here, where we have a bar screen, which removes debris, sticks, anything that might be coming in. As it goes through here, it goes to the EQ, and this is where phosphorus removal takes place. After it leaves here, it goes into one of our 3 trains.
What we're going to show you is one of the treatment trains.
So where we're at now is basically where all the magic happens. And this particular system is called the Bardenfo system. It's basically designed for advanced nutrient removal. And it does that by manipulating anoxic zones and aeration zones. Which an anoxic zone is a zone that has little to no oxygen at all. And then you see these zones here with the bubbles, that's where you have air. And what that does is it manipulates a bacteria called a nitrofer, and it forces it to do its conversion and strip the nutrients out. And you do this by bouncing it back and forth between the multiple zones that we have here.
So the phosphorus needs to be removed and the nitrate needs to be removed so the receiving waters do not have algae blooms and so forth. The nitrate and the phosphorus, as it goes back into the land, it goes back into the aquifer and can cause algae blooms in receiving waters, which are your springs, your rivers, and so forth. It is naturally removed by the microorganisms throughout the plant as it goes through the process. The process, it's actually advanced because we're able to reduce it to such a small number of nitrates and phosphorus. Other places have higher counts. So the older plant, our nitrate was around a 12 TN. And on the new plant, we have added some structures and some new processes that allow us to remove phosphorus and remove the nitrate to less than 3. Travels over to our re-aeration basin, which then adds a little bit more air before it goes to the clarifiers. Then it reaches our clarifiers where it separates the solids from the clean liquid. The water coming through from the start of the process to the end of the process is approximately 1 day coming through here. Now we hold the microorganisms in the plant for 7 to 8 days. The clean liquid continues and goes over to our filters and then to our contact chamber where we add chlorine for disinfection.
And over here is where you see the results. They turn into really clear water, and then we chlorinate it and send it out.
So after it comes through our contact chamber, it then becomes reuse water, which we'll either send to our tank if we have room, or to our ponds on site or off site if we do not have room. And from there it can be pumped to the distribution zone for irrigation.
This is our influent here. This is what comes into the plant. This is what the bugs are processing the water. This is what's happening in our clarifier where the solids will settle. This is what comes over the weirs. And we'll go to our filtration process and go to the filters. And this is our effluent that is leaving the plant.
Currently, the reclaimed water is used for residential irrigation, and it can also go to ponds that we have on site. By using the reuse water for irrigation, we're saving drinking water for the future.
This concludes this special episode. Thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osmond, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.